Pursuit 22, going steady. Today we have the pleasure of Smita Balu presenting on Swathi Tirunal. So we are looking forward to it. I don't know too much about it, so I'm waiting to educate myself on it. Thank you for joining today. Let's hear from Smita.
Namaste to all of you, and a big thanks to everyone for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to share my humble thoughts about Ulsava Prabandha Kridis of Swathi Tirunal Maharaja. Before going into the details of Ulsava Prabandha Kridis of Swathi Tirunal Maharaja, let's have a look at the contribution of Swathi Tirunal Maharaja to Carnatic music. Swathi Tirunal Ramavarma Maharaja was born in 16th April 1813 as a son of Rani Gauri Lakshmi Bhai, the ruling queen at that time, and Raja Rajavarma Veliya Koil Tampuran of Changarasheri Kovilagam. As per the prevailing practice in Travancore dynasty, the king was named as Swathi Tirunal after his birth star Swathi. And the Maharajas of Travancore dynasty pledged their kingdom to Lord Sri Padmanabha. That is why they got the title Sri Padmanabha Dasa. And Swathi Tirunal is also known as Garbha Shriman because he became the king when he was in the womb of his mother itself, because there was no male member in the dynasty to take over the kingdom at the time of his birth. So he is known as Garbha Shriman due to that reason. Ramavarma Vijayam Champa. It is a Devanagari literary work by Dr. S.V. Iyer on Maharaja. It is about Maharaja Swathi Tirunal, and it speaks of him being a scholar of 18 languages such as Sanskrit, Malayalam, English, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Marathi, Hindustani, and Persian languages. In addition, he learned poetry, drama, Vedanta, and Rajaniti, which is the statesmanship. He learned music from Karamana Subramanya Bhagavata, and another Vidwan Subbaravu taught him a rare musical instrument named Swarbat. Being a musician king, Swathi Tirunal's court was adorned by many eminent musicians. Kannaya Bhagavata, a direct disciple of Tyagaraja Swami, Vadivelu Chinnaya Ponnaya Shivananda, the Tanjore Quartet, disciples of Muthuswami Dikshita, Maratha saint singer Meru Swami, who is also known as Ananda Padmanabha Goswami. He introduced Swathi Tirunal to the intricacies of Carnatic and Hindustani music and even popularized Harikatha Kalakshepam in Travancore. And then Iravi Varman Thambi, a noted Kerala composer. He is a poet and also a well-known Kathakali music composer as well. Kilimanur Koil Tampuran, he is also known as Karindran Tampuran. He is a Sanskrit scholar and poet. Shatkala Govindamara and Palakkad Parameshwara Bhagavata are some of the eminent musicians who adorned Swathi Tirunal's court. Among them, Palakkad Parameshwara Bhagavata, with his Shishya Parambara, came to be known as Mullamudu Bhagavatas, who were the Asthana Gayakas of Travancore dynasty. And then this Mullamudu Bhagavatas, along with the Nagaswara Vidwans of Padmanabha Swami temple, preserved Swathi Tirunal's music for a long time, for a century. Then later on, K. Chidambara Vadya, Harikeshanallur Muttaya Bhagavatar, Shammangudi Swami, and others started documenting Swathi Tirunal's compositions. Let us have a look at the literary contributions of Swathi Tirunal. Bhakti Manjari, which talks about Navavidha Bhakti. It consists of 1000 stanzas on Bhakti. Padmanabha Shadakam, 100 slokas on Lord Sri Padmanabha Swami. Syanandura Pura Varnana Prabandham, a verse and prose mix written in Champa style, describing the legend of Sri Padmanabha Swami temple. Utsava Prabandha, which we will talk about in detail a little later. Ajamalobhakyanam, Kujelobhakyanam. These are two Ubhakyanams composed by Swathi Tirunal due to the influence of Meru Swami, who popularized Harikatha Kalakshepam. So these two Ubhakyanams are composed in the style of Harikatha. Another two works attributed to Swathi Tirunal Maharaja are Yayadi Charitram, which is a Sangeeta Nadagam, and Sangeeta Kodi, which are verses on many deities. Maharaja has composed over 400 compositions in different languages: Sanskrit, Manipravalam, Hindi, Telugu, Marathi, and Kannada. There is only one Malayalam composition. Malayalam composition is Indumukhi Adatala Varnam in Shankarabharana Raga. That is only one Malayalam composition by Swathi Tirunal Maharaja. The Padams and Ulsa Prabandha Kritis are Manipravalam. He was a versatile composer who enriched our musical repertoire with different musical forms like Kritis, Kirtanas, Padavarnams, Thanavarnams, Chaukavarnams, Javalis, Tillanas, Swarajatis, and even composed in Hindustani styles like Drupad, Khyal, Tappa, Tarana, Bhajans, etc. He modeled his compositions after the 17th century composer Margadarshi Sheshayangar, and he even wrote a work, a treatise, which talks about the prosody of Sanskrit composition, which is Muhana Prasandya Prasadi Vyavastha. So it talks about the prosody of Sanskrit compositions, and Margadarshi Sheshayangar's kritis are taken as illustrations, just to illustrate how a Sanskrit composition should look like. So, as we all know, Swathi Tirunal's compositions are all devotional in nature. Most of them are in praise of Lord Sri Padmanabha and Mahavishnu. There are many compositions addressed to Lord Sri Krishna, Rama, Devi, Shiva, Narasimha, Ganapati, Anjaneya, etc. Some of his notable compositions are Navavidha Bhakti Kirtanas, which talks about 9 forms of Bhakti. Navaratri Kirtanams, these are the compositions sung for the Navaratri festival in Trivandrum. Ghanaraga Kritis, there are 8 compositions, which includes all the 5 Ghanaragams, Anata, Gaula, Arapi, Varali, and Sri, and Dvidiya Ghana Panchaga, there are 3 compositions. Raga Maligas are Kamala Jasya, Suma Sayaga, Pannagendra Shayana, etc. The popular Ramayana Kirtanam in Saveri Raga was converted into a Raga Maliga by Shamungudi Swami by adding suitable swaras to it. There are plenty of dance compositions like Padavarnams, Varnams, Swarajatis, Tillanas, Padams, etc. But if you look at the kritis of Swathi Tirunal, all of them have an underlying nritta bhava in them. So all of them can be choreographed into beautiful dance forms. So now we will have a look at Ulsava Prabandha Kritis, the topic for the day. Ulsava Prabandha Kritis, as the name signifies, they are related to Utsava or festival. So Sri Padmanabha Swami Temple celebrates biannual festivals in the month of Alpashi, that is October and November, and Panguni, March and April, with all pomp and gaiety in the city of Trivandrum. The festival is of 10 days duration, culminating in spectacular Palliveta and Aarat ceremonies on 9th and 10th days. 6 different kinds of vahanas are used for the processions on each day. They are Simhasana Vahanam, which is the throne, Ananda Vahanam, which is the serpent, Kamala Vahanam, which is lotus, Pallaka Vahanam, which is palanquin, Garuda Vahanam is Garuda, and Indra Vahanam, Gopura. Of them, the Pallaka Vahanam is repeated twice and Garuda Vahanam is repeated 4 times. Garuda is considered to be the favorite Vahana of Padmanabha Swami. So, why are these kritis called Ulsava Prabandha kritis? Or instead of calling them simply Ulsava kritis. A Prabandham is a narrative poetry punctuated with prose pieces and prose and musical pieces. Ulsava Prabandha is different in this sense, as there is no prose interludes, but slokas replaces the prose part, and there are musical pieces as well. There is an explanation given by S. Venkata Subramanya Iyer on his article on Ulsava Prabandha Kritis of Swathi Thirunal in one of the journals of Madras Music Academy. I'll just read that. Although named as Prabandha, it is not like any of the work in this name as detailed in the works of Sangeeta Ratnakara. In Kerala, a composition which is in a mixture of prose and verse, what is generally known as Champa, has a popular name Prabandha. An extension of this to include the type of work where we get song in the place of prose is responsible for designating it also as Prabandha. It may be noted that apart from this, a composition in song and verse can be designated as Prabandha, as we find Geeta Govindam so named himself. So Geeta Govindam is classified as a Prabandha in Sarangadeva's work, which is similar to the construction of Ulsava Prabandha Kritis. So the language used is Manipravalam, which is a mixture of Sanskrit and Malayalam. And there are 12 songs and 42 slokas in different meters. Commencing with a set of 6 slokams, a benediction called Avartika, the first kriti is set in Mohanarag, which is followed by 5 slokams, then 1 kriti for each of the days, of Ulsavam, with a prefix of 1 or more slokas till 10th day. Then the Samabana slogam, the concluding hymn is there, which is followed by the Mangala Kriti. On the 10th day of Aarata, after 2 circumambulations, all the Vahanams are taken out through the western entrance of the temple. Maharaja and other male members of the royal family escort the deities with drawn swords and shields. Aarata procession slowly proceeds with pomp and pageantry, color and music, men carrying divine and royal emblems. The history and heritage are relived. The procession reaches the Shangamukam beach, and then the Vahanas are positioned in the Aarata Mandapam in Shangamukam. Pujas are performed, and then the idols are taken by the Tantri for the holy immersion in the sea. That is how the Aarata takes place, and after that the procession comes back to the temple and the function finishes that way. The songs which are used for the procession are Pangajanabholsavam in Mohana Ragam, which talks about the flag hoisting ceremony, which is set to Chaputalam. Panjasaiga Janagan in Neelambari, in Aditalam, which talks about the Simhasana Vahanam of Lord. Pangajakshanam Rameshan in Todi, Rubagatala, talks about the Ananta Vahanam. Kanakamayamaidum in Hussaini, Rubagatala, for the 3rd day, which is talking about Kamala Vahanam. Andoliga Vahane in Ananda Bhairavi, Chaputala, Pallaku Vahanam. Sanandureshan, Kurunji, Aditalam, for the 5th day, Garuda Vahanam. Indirapati Vilangam in Navaroj, Rupakam for 6th day. Indra Vahanam or Gopuram. Shibigail in Mangala Kalshigi, Rupaka Tala, 7th day, and it talks about palanquin. Then Neelapuri Kudalala in Yadukula Kamboji, Rupaka Talam, that is also Garuda Vahanam on 8th day. Sharadindu Samamukanagum in Kamboji, Chaputalam, 9th day, Garuda Vahanam. Naga Shainana in Panduvarali, Aditalam, Garuda Vahanam. Sarasijanaphan is the Mangala Kriti, and it is set in Saurashtram, Chaputalam. Among these songs, except 2 in Pandwarali and Todi Ragas, all the other compositions are in Janya Ragas. Of these songs, Panjasaiga Janakan, Sarsijanabha, and the first song in Mohana Ragam, which talks about the flag hoisting ceremony, they have Pallavi, Anupallavi, and Charanam sections, and the rest of the compositions have only Pallavi and Charanams. And these Ulsava Prabandha Kritis have been composed by Maharaja to give a graphic account of the Utsava in his ecstasy and bhakti towards Lord Sri Padmanabha. Perhaps this is the only set of group Kritis in the entire Carnatic music repertoire which describes about a festival. And For that reason, the Sahityam is very descriptive and very poetic. And also, the Sahityam and the music has got equal importance in these Kritis. And all the Kritis have very lucid and poetic Sahityam, embellished with prasas like Dvitiyakshara Prasam, Anuprasam, Mohana Prasam, etc. There are references that Palakkad Parameshwara Bhagavata, the chief of the Mullamudu Bhagavata, presented this entire Ulsava Prabandha Kritis in the court of Swathi Tirunal in 1830, and he was honored by presenting a lot of gift by Maharaja. As a part of Swathi Tirunal's devotion to Lord Sri Padmanabha Swami, he effected several innovations in the temple music of Sri Padmanabha Swami temple. He standardized the temple music and introduced particular ragas and songs to be played by the Nagaswara Vidwans during the occasions of festivals and other temple rites. When we look at the current day scenario, a lot of compositions of great Vagyakaras are becoming obsolete because Swathi Tirunal has taken such a right decision. These compositions were preserved to some extent because of this standardization of that temple music. For example, during the Utsavas, each day of the above said procession takes place twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. On the first day of the procession, the Varnam Sarasa Sundara in Nilambari Raga is played with Raga and Swara in detail, and the Kirtana Pankajana Utsava is played after that. And in the evening, there is a composition, Kalayami Nanda Kamaniya Balam in Kannada Raga is played with elaborate Raga, and then Shankarabharana Raga Varna Chalamela is played, and then Panchasayaga Janagan is played. So this way, it helps to preserve those compositions. Swathi Tirunal Ponnu Tampuran Kalpichundakiyadil Ulsava Prabandhavum Ajomalabhyayanum Kujelobhyayanum Manipravala Padangalum is a book printed with the permission of government by Kanaka Kumaran Marthandan in Malayalam in 1853 in Kerala Vilasam Press Fort, Trivandrum, few years after the demise of Maharaja. This book has got all the Ulsava Prabandha Kritis and the slogans associated with that. All of them are written in old Malayalam Lipi. I had gone through that manuscript. It was very interesting to notice that the Malayalam names of the ragas are given, such as Erikila Kamodhi for Yadugula Kamboji, Kurinji for Kurinji, Navarasam for Navaroj, Kamodhari for Kamboji, and Ushani for Hussaini. And Tala, some of the Talas are like those used in Kathakali Sangeetam, like Chempada, Adanda, etc. The text of Ulsava Prabandha was again published later on by K. Chidambara Vadyar in 1916. But that book doesn't have any musical notation for the Kritis. The next edition was Balamritam by Ranganatha Bhagavata, Ranganatha Iyer, the son of Travancore court musician Brahmasri Shankara Bhatta Shastrigal, containing the songs with musical notation, but only songs are there, slogas are not there. Maharaja Sri Swathi Tirunal Kirtana Mala by the Asthana Vidwan Shammangadi Swami was published in the year 1947, and K.S. Narayana Swami assisted him in this work. And this work was again republished in 1970, and the whole text is notated in that work. During late 1960s, when Shammangudi Swami was the principal of Swathi Tirunal Sangeeta College, my guru, Dr. Omenakutti teacher, joined there for Gana Pravina course. For entire 1 year, they were taught only Ulsava Prabandha Kritis. And that way he made it thorough to the students. And that is the version which is followed by that particular lineage of students now. So let us talk about some of the Utsava Prabandha Kritis. Among the Utsava Prabandha Kritis, one of the most popular Kriti is Kanagamayamayidu. A lot of us know that Kriti, right? So, Kanagamayamayidu Kamalavaganamarimel Kanatoru Kantiyodu Gamikunna Taravanu. This Sahityam is very interesting. It is a talk between two ladies who is trying to figure out who is coming in that Kamalavahan. So I'll just go through the Sahityam. It is, the reason why I wanted to mention it, it shows the skill of the composer in composing such a beautiful Sahityam. Who is that Deva who is coming in procession with such grandeur in the radiant golden lotus vehicle? Can it be Indra, Balamadanan, who annihilated Demon Bala, with his companions going around the earth in all glory? If so, where is his brilliant 1,000 eyes? Oh, beautiful friend, who have the gait of an elephant. Can it be Moon shedding his cool rays around, who is roaming around with compassion? But if it is Moon, where is the stain mark on him? Or is it Kailasadishvara, Lord Shiva, the beloved of Gauri? If it is Shiva, where is third eye, my beautiful? Or is it sun god with his dazzling brilliance? Tell me, oh my dear. If so, how can he be this tranquil? Oh dear, who has a mellifluous voice as sweet as a honey. If he is Dhanapati, Lord of Wealth, Kubera, then he would be horribly deformed, isn't it? No, definitely it is not Kubera. So no doubt, definitely he has to be none other than Lord Padmanabha. As a rule, we don't go back and sing the Pallavi again at the end. But we end with the statement that that is definitely Lord Padmanabha, none other than Lord Padmanabha. It says, Neerajanabhan Noonam. We end with that. We don't sing Kanagamayamayidu again. So we can see the examples of Muhana Prasa in the Pallavi itself. Kanagamayamayidu Kamalavahanam Adinme Anathoru Kantiyodu Kamikkunna Dharavano. The first syllable, Kanagamayam, Ka, is rhyming in the first word. That is Muhana Prasa. And the second syllable, Na, that is also rhyming. That is an example of Dvidiya Akshara Prasa. And you can even see Anuprasam here. Kanagamayamayidu Kamalavahanam Adinme Anathoru Andyodu. So the syllable Ka is repeated again and again. So that adds beauty to the Sahitya. So that is an example of Anuprasam. So another song which has got slightly different lyrical construction compared to the other kritis is Neelapuri Kulalale in Yadugula Kamboji Raga. The other kritis talks about the procession of Lord Padmanabha. But here, the Sahityam of Neelapuri Kulalale has a lyrical structure like a padam. As we all know, the Madhura Bhakti is the theme of padas. Though outwardly the meaning will look like some mundane conversation between a lady and her Sakhi, the actual theme is the yearning of Jivatma to merge with Paramatma, and Sakhi is the mediator. So let us go through. I'll just sing few lines of Neelapuri Kulalale Neerajanabhane Kandu Bale Valarneedum Mokam Paramengine Kadipu. Oh, beautiful women with a cloud-like dark tresses. How can I describe the experience of ever-growing desire within me as I see Lord Neerajanabhan? Oh Sudati, please tell me whether in these 14 worlds, is there any young lady who does not become ecstatic seeing the attractive face of the Lord? Dear Saki, isn't it astounding that Lord's red lips that transform the surroundings, also red, makes one immerse in the ocean of love? Aren't these poets ashamed to compare Lord's face with that of the moon? As Lord's face is much more beautiful than moon. My desire is so intense that I am unable to sleep, which makes it impossible to be with the Lord even in my dreams. Finally, the song concludes saying that the purpose of having eyes become fruitful with the vision of the Lord. Still, no one is satisfied with this, with small glimpse of Him. An interesting fact about this song is its striking resemblance to a Kathakali Padam in Dakshayagam Attakatha, composed by Iravi Varman Thambi. That song is Lokatipa Kanta Karunalaya Me Vajam Nilapuri Kuralane Nirajanabhane Kando Vale Valarnidum Moham Paramine Kadipu Subishadama Mukham Kando Sudadi Mohichiradi Subishadama Mukham Kando Sudadi Mohichiradi Bhuvanam Iredilu Moru Yuvati Yundo Chole. The song resembles a Kathakali Padam in its musical construction. Among the compositions, the largest compositions will be the one in Kamboji Raga, which describes the royal hunt, Mrigaya or Palliveta of 9th day festival. Lord Padmanabha Swami, as a part of the ritual, Maharaja of Travancore carries a bow and arrow in his hand and performs Palliveta as a representative of Lord Sri Padmanabha Swami. It is a symbolic representation of killing of a demon. Procession on that day happens on Garuda Vahanam, and Lord is accompanied by Narasimha Murthy and Sri Krishna for the ritual. In that song, Sharadindu Samamukhanagam Ramabharan, a very picturesque description of the ceremony is given. Sharadindu Samamukhan Agum Ramabharan Charuda Kalarni. It is in Chapudal. So today I have kept the first song in Mohanam as my demonstrational piece. So it is composed in the most beautiful ragam Mohanam, as the name of the raga signifies. The pentatonic Audava raga, which has got all sharp notes, which gives a majestic bhava to the Riti. Mohanam is actually classified as the Janya Raga of Harikamboji 828th Mela, although alternate opinions exist. Some of them say that it is a Janya of Kalyani also. The Hindustani equivalent of Mohanam is Bhoop, and that it is Bhoop is associated with Kalyan Thaat. And this pentatonic scale is found in music of various nations, including primitive tribes as well. Ancient Chinese, Japanese, Hungarian, Swedish, and Gypsy music have the traces of Mohanam. So we can assume that the composer must have selected this raga, which really appeals to any kind of listener. I'll sing Mohana Raga Kirtana. So there is a slogam associated with each composition. So there are few slogas associated with Pankaja Nabhotsava also, but I will sing only the invocatory sloga, which is a traditional invocation paying homage to Lord Ganesha, Goddess Saraswati, Gurus and ancestors. Is it too loud? The Shruti volume is loud. Is the द्विरदवदननाकुं देवनेयुं प्रमोदात् सरसिज भवजायां शारदा देवीयेयुं गुरुवरनेयुमस्मद्गोत्रजन्मारयो परिजिनुडुरु भक्त्या सततं कै तोळुमे भक्त्या कै तोळुमे पंगजनाभोत्सव आघोषभी पारिल परम बेल सुंदो पंगजनाभोत्सव आघोषभी पारिल परम बेल सुंदो पङ्कजनभोत्सव आघोषमि पारिल परं वील सुन्दु पङ्कजनभोत्सव आघोषमि पारिल परं वील सुन्दु ചെങ്കതിരോന്ദ്യൂതി വെല്ലും ധ്വജാഗ്രത്തിൽ ചെങ്കതിരോന്ദ്യൂതി വെല്ലും ധ്വജാഗ്രത്തിൽ ചെങ്കതിരോന്ദ്യൂതി വെല്ലും ധ്വജാഗ്രത്തിൽ ചെമ്മി കോടിയേറിയ നാൾ തുടങ്ങി പങ്കജനഭോത്സവ ആഘോഷമി പാരിൽ പരം वील सुन्दु निरवधि भूसुर वृन्दं वन्नो नेरतनन्द मोडे निरवधि भूसुर वृन्दं वन्नो नेरतनन्द मोडे परमन्नोमुपदंशं गिलितं आस्वदितुं परमन्नोमुपदंशं गिलितं आस्वदितुं परमपुरुषने कण्ठधवन्दितुं पङ्कजनभोत्सव आघोषमि पारिल परं वील सुन्दु So that is the first invocatory song which talks about the flag hoisting ceremony of Lord Padmanabha. It says, this world is reverberating with the celebrations of festivities of Sri Pankajanabha. From the day on which was hoisted the flag, which competes with the rosy hue of the sun. A huge number of, then again, after the Anupallavi finishes, for completion of the meaning, you have to repeat the Pallavi again. A huge number of Brahmins visit and joyously partake in the sumptuous feast and offer obeisance to the Lord. The corridors of the temple are adorned with beautiful decorations which looks like floral umbrella to Goddess Lakshmi, who came to join with her beloved Lord in the procession. People happily enjoy themselves by meeting in places like shopping arcades and houses. The temple of Lord is decorated grandly, thus making the name Anantapura befitting to the city. So, the rasa bhava and the aesthetic aspects underlying the songs are predominantly bhakti, with other rasas like Sringara, Adbhuta, and Karuna, etc. Here, Lord is described with full majesty, stateliness, etc. And overall, the composer's unlimited bhakti is outpoured through these kritis. So, Swadhi Thirunal's genius as a composer of high quality is evident through Ulsava Prabandha kritis, both in Sahitya aspect and a musical aspect. The musical construction or the dhatu is done in such a way that the pure essence of the bhava of each raga is brought out by handling the raga in a very simple manner. Simple but elegant, devoid of complicated sangadis, etc. These kritis are yet to gain more popularity which they deserve. This can be sung in concerts. Shyamangudi Swami, Palakkad K.V. Narayana Swami, they all tried to popularize these kritis by singing them in their concerts. In fact, these pieces are good kritis, very good kritis to be presented in concerts, but I don't know, many of the musicians are not familiar with them. But many musicians in Kerala, recently they have started singing them in concerts. So that is about the Ulsava Prabandha kritis. There are two kritis which are sung in Madhyama Kala also. Sorry, not in Madhyama Kala, Madhyama Shruti. One I think I have shared in our group. Indirapadi Bilangam in Navaroj Raga, I already shared long ago. There is one more in Kurini as well. That is also sung in Madhyama Shruti. I will just. Syanam dureshan vihanga yanam cherum borullo ranantatineyadilla noonam. That is the kriti in Kurunji Raga. There is one rare raga among the 12 kritis, which is Mangala Kaishiki. Mangala Kaishiki Raga, there is one talks about the palanquin, procession in palanquin. Shibigayil Arulidunu, Sri Sarasa Nabhan. ശിബികയിലെഴുന്നരുളിയിടുന്നു ശ്രീ സാരസനാഭൻ വിബുധാളി കൽപകസൂനങ്ങൾ വിരവിൽ വർഷിച്ചിടവേ. That is the one in Mangala Kaishiki. So that's all about Ulsava Prabandha kritis. So just before concluding my talk about this wonderful topic, I would like to mention one thing here, which is, I believe you all are familiar with a slogan on Valmiki Maharshi. Kujantam Rama Ramedi Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam. It's a very famous slogan. Once the celebrated poet of Kerala, late Professor O.N.V. Kuruppar, was giving a speech about Swadhi Thirunal Maharaja. And at the end of the speech, as a tribute to the musician king of Travancore, Professor O.N.V. Kuruppar presented this slogan with slight variation in the lyrics. I would like to conclude with that slogan. Kujantam Padmanabheti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakha Vande Swadhi Kokilam Vande Swati Kokilam वन्दे स्वातिकोकिलम् वन्दे स्वातिकोकिलम् കനകമയമായിടും കമലവാഹനമതിന്മേൽ കനകമയം ആയിടും കമലവാഹനമതിന്മേൽ കനത്തോരു കാന്തിയോടു ഗമിക്കുന്നതാരവനോ കനത്തോരു കാന്തിയോടു ഗമിക്കുന്നതാരവനോ വലമദനൻ വിഭവമോടെ വസുധയിൽ സഞ്ചരിച്ചിടുന്നു വലമദനൻ വിഭവമോടെ വസുധയിൽ സഞ്ചരിച്ചിടുന്നു വലമദനൻ എങ്കിലെങ്ങു വലമദനൻ എങ്കിലെങ്ങു വിലസും നേത്ര സഹസ്രം കളഭഗതേ കുളിർമതിയോ കനിവോടെ വിലസുന്നു കളഭഗതേ കുളിർമതിയോ കനിവോടെ വിലസുന്നു കുളിർമതിയെന്നാക്കിലുള്ളിൽ ഉളവാകും അംഗമെങ്ങു ഗൗരീനായകനാകും കൈലാസാധീശ്വരനോ ഗൗരീനായകനെങ്കിൽ കമനി മൂന്നാം നേത്രമെങ്ങു അതിമഹസ വിലസിടും കതിരോനോ ബദബാലേ അതിമഹസ വിലസിടും കതിരോനോ ബദബാലേ കതിരോനെന്നാകിലവൻ കഥമേവം ശാന്തനാവൂ കതിരോനെന്നാകിലവൻ കഥമേവം ശാന്തനാവൂ താരീത്തേൻ മൊഴിബാലേ ധനപതിയെന്നാകിലവൻ ഭൂരി വിരൂപാംഗനതോ ഭൂരി വിരൂപാംഗനതോ നീരജനാഭൻ നൂനം നീരജനാഭൻ നൂനം നീരജനാഭൻ നൂനം ഇന്ദിരാപതി വിളങ്ങും ഇന്ദ്രവാഹന തിന്നവ സൗന്ദര്യമരുൾ ചെയ്തിടുവാൻ ശക്തനേവനാവൂ ശക്തനേവനാവൂ ഇന്ദിരാപതി വിളങ്ങും ഇന്ദ്രവാഹനത്തിന്നവ സൗന്ദര്യമരുൾ ചെയ്തിടുവാൻ ശക്തനേവനാവൂ ശക്തനേവനാവൂ